All right, Shalom. I want to give all praise unto Yahweh, Bashim Yahushai, Bashim Rakak Wadash. And we say, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahushai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahushai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahushai, Bashim Rakak Wadash, for just truth, knowledge, and wisdom, and understanding. And double honors to our apostle and elders, which are the apostle elders at Great Millstone, and to you hopeful elect out there on the four corners of the planet Earth that's pushing this truth and enduring in these last days and continuing in the faith and the truth that we've been given. All right. This is just a response video with shocking African ancestry DNA results. I'm upset, okay, because the apostle had put this video out, and I seen it a few days ago, and I just wanted to, I got a couple sites, a couple scriptures, and I was just, digging and getting some things together, put together for the lesson, and our people need to start. That's why this truth is more than we always say. It's more than calling the white man the devil. It's more than just being a weekend Israelite, or it's more than just wearing fringes and as you guys got guys out there saying most high, and either way, that's not the vibration I want to go in. But I'm gonna play this video because our history is really vast, man. Okay, you have to put all the pieces together to see the whole picture, and that's what's happening right now. Because in the kingdom, man, we're gonna be made whole. We'll get our history back as we want to see it. We'll be able to see it in the fullness. But now, as we're getting in this truth and understanding certain things, to understand the Bible as it is, you have to understand history. You have to have a grasp of history. Okay, a knowledge of history. All right, in many different aspects, because our history spans over the whole planet Earth. Okay, why? Because we've been all over the planet Earth, man. The Most High said He scatter us to the four winds. So where we were at, we left our seed there, we left our culture there, we left a piece of ourselves there. Okay, and we went to the next culture because Jake is when I say Jake, I say Jacob, Yaiquab. All right, is a very adaptable. We're a very adaptable people, man. Okay, we can adapt in slavery, we can adapt in rulership, we can adapt in anything because we are we got the spirit of Yahweh Shem Shai that's resting upon us, okay? So, that's the introduction. I just wanted to, mention a few things. So I'm gonna play this video and we're gonna jump right into the lesson, and Al Baratazar, this is edifying, okay? And I'm starting it at 444. Well, that I didn't even think about it, but I'm gonna start it here. I'm gonna play the video and then we're gonna jump right into it. All right. And this is Nia Hope. All right. And she went and got a DNA results, and she got it back, and you'll see with the reaction. It is with great pleasure. I can't even read this right now. I can't believe I'm about to find out my results. It is with great pleasure that I. And you gotta watch Esau and his DNA results, man. You always gotta watch and be circumspect with that. But it can give you a roundabout way, because Esau don't tell you the whole truth. He don't tell you your history. So he can give you that information, but if you don't know the full history, you won't understand it. Report your magic clan analysis determined your. Oh my God, I literally cannot speak straight. Focus. Let me start over. It is with great pleasure that I report our matric clan analysis determined your maternal lineage to be of European ancestry. The mitochondrial DNA sequence that we determined from your sample belongs to a non-African lineage in the haplogroup H. Our analysis encompasses hypervariable regions 1, 2, and 3. Blah, da, 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 da. You have inherited these segments of DNA from your mother, and they have been passed on consistently from mother to daughter over the past 500 to 2,000 years, so they are unique to your maternal lineage. We analyze the variance within these regions to determine the parts of your DNA that you share with people within specific ethnic groups. All right. Okay. So we already know that they got to put that out there, but you know, a lot of Jakes, if you don't want to, if you have to understand this, I'm gonna put it in a way. We do have lineage in Europe, man. Okay, because a lot of some of these Europeans you see over here, some of them are actually Jakes, man. Okay, because we ruled in Europe. We ruled it when you go back to the time of the Moors. Okay, when you go back to the history, we ruled over there in Europe, and we gonna jump right into it. We ain't gonna waste no more time. Let's let the I dug up. This is Afro Europe. Okay, not Afro African, Afro Europe. Okay, because we conquered when they say the Dark Ages. That's what they put it. They put that buzzword out there, the Dark Ages. It was the time when we ruled. We weren't always Negroes in chains, man. All right, we was not always so-called black men picking cotton. That's not our history. Even before the truth, I always wondered, like, man, and you know, you always wonder, like, is there more? You know, like, come on, man. There's traces because Esau, he knew the elite of the elite knew we were gonna wake up. But the lower luminaries never figured that we'd wake up. They didn't think that we'd come back to ourselves. So they figured they won, man. They figured in themselves they won. So they had all the history books. They know, like that one comedy thing. I think it was Richard Pryor when he went into the so-called tombs and he seen the book with all the history and they locked him in the tomb. Because Esau don't want this history out. He don't want us to gain who we are back. But it's not up to him. It was the Most High that took it away in the first place. It wasn't him that took it away. Alright? That's why if you read, it says we're going to discontinue from our heritage. If we discontinue from who we were as Israelites, everything else is just going to fall away because we're not European, we're not Moors, we're Israelites. Our true identity is being Israel, okay? So this is Afro Europe. It says Black history. Black European nobility tucked away. Why is it tucked away? Because it's been hidden. There's a saying that I always go into. It says, to the victor goes the spoils. Okay? To the victor goes the spoils. Let's look up that. I always say it, but let's get a true definition of it. I know, hey, I'm setting the stage, man. It's a very famous, yep, right there. To the victor goes the spoil. The term was derived from the phrase, to the victor belong the spoils, by New York Senator William S. Macy refers to the victory of Andrew Jackson in the election of 1828, with the term spoils meaning goods or benefits taken from the loser in a competition, election, or military victory. So that's what that saying goes back to, okay? He takes what he wants from the loser and puts it on himself. So now it says black European nobility tucked away. Black nobility in Europe, according to Black Dutch researcher Edmund Godfried, and the author of the book Belly van Zuylen's Forgotten Grandmother. There was black nobility in Europe. See that? So that's why it says my people are destroyed for the lack of knowledge, man. Okay? My people are destroyed for the lack of knowledge. Because you seeing that information thinking, oh, what? Europe is white people. I'm not white. No, man. It's not the fact of you being white. It's the fact of our lineage and what they say, our mitochondria goes back in those in that area, man. But they say non-African. Okay? And it says, but their history, it says, there were black nobility in Europe, but their history and images were later carefully tucked away. His claims are controversial and, of course, not accepted by European historians, and the man and the man in the street. Codfried has systematically studied. That's why I said study to show thyself approved, man. You have to go into study. It's more than just reading the scriptures. The scriptures are the heavy hitters, man. But history accents the scriptures. There's history in the scriptures. You can study scriptures and get history, but if you want to dive deeper into that history, you got to go into it. It says Codfried has systematically studied hundreds of paintings of famous and less famous nobility. He regularly stumbles upon people who look black or colored, or although they were white, clearly had African facial features, because it's called whitewashing. Look. Look. Let me see here. Oh, they gonna go right there. Hold on. See? You see the painting, and he's whitewashing the image, and then back there you see clearly it's a man of color. Okay, because we put images, just like Esau puts in his images up to, like the saying, to the victor goes the spoil. So you can clearly see that that's a man of color back there. That's not a white person, that's a man of color. Okay, so that's what whitewashing is. Okay, that's why he's noticed it, and he's coming from a aspect. He's coming from a non-judgmental aspect. Even if he is a so-called white man, he's noticing this and putting his findings out there to say, damn, man, these some of these paintings have Negro features. Why are they? But they're white though. Why is that? Well, there's a missing piece there, because they were whitewashing it, but they couldn't whitewash everything, because we put so much, because we ruled for such a long period of time and put up so much artwork and paintings that it was impossible to whitewash all of them, man. So that's why you see some of the paintings that leak through, or imagine the paintings in the artwork that was destroyed, the ones that couldn't be whitewashed. They just destroyed them. But the Most High preserved some of these things because we were going to come back to ourselves. And it says, colored or altogether were white. They were white, clearly had African facial features. About his work, he writes, this study of historical sources and literature on black and colored historical persons was inspired by a chance finding of a portrait of Maria Jacob, and it's Jacob Van Gogh portrayed in the picture. We get a view of the problems of the methods to identify these Europeans. This beautiful painting was also a reason to cast a Afrocentric view at Bella Van Zala's life and her works. The biographs in an origin of her financial fortune through her colored grandmother in Dutch, Bella van Zulen, from 1740 to 1805, also known as Madame de Charry, joins the rank of writers as the Russian Alexander Pushkin, the French Alexander Dumas, and Colette, the Briton Elizabeth Berendt and her husband Robert Browning, as well as the German classic composer Ludwig van Beethoven and Queen Charlotte of Britain. See? So our history is vast, man. And it says these are European. It says these are Europeans of great merit who had black forefathers. who had black forefathers. And through this video, I'm going to be posting pictures of nobility that I found, man. I just wanted to set the groundwork. As I read, I'm going to post pictures, and Abarataza, I'll come back in and show some pictures from this article, okay? And it says, who had black grandfathers. Also, we find that Bella was a friend of a Pere Alexander du Peru, 1729 to 1794, a renowned as a close friend, benefactor, and publisher of the most famous philosopher of the Enlightenment, Jean-Jacques Rousseau. The reason why his studies says the reason why he studied nobility has to with the fact that nobility was left traces in the form of portraits and writings. Some of the claims, Queen Charlotte Sophia, look at her. That's a Jake, man. That's a light-skinned Jake, man. What they call a red bone, man. Okay? She's a red bone. And who knows how much they tampered with it. But you can clearly see she has features that, you know, you got some women that look like that today. Let's go over here. Watch this. You can clearly see once they get mixed. Alright, these are like first generation mix. Even Mariah, man. Alright, if years go down and Babylon still maintained, you would think Mariah was a fully white woman, man. Okay, but these are mixed, man. This goes down, you can see the list of, they call them yellow bones, man. Alright, so that's where you get them sort of features where they might look like their mama, or they might look like their father a little bit, but they might have a lot of their mom's features, man. Alright, that's why you gotta understand what you into, man. And it says, described by others in her time as a true mulatto face. Mulatto. What? Let's look up what the word mulatto means. And this might be a long little, you know, by the time I get through the history, I mean, it's very vast, man. I found a lot of articles. I found a lot of pictures. I found a lot of stuff, man. Abarataza, you know, Joachim, stay with me, man. This is the word mulatto, and look at the pictures that come up. Let's look up mulatto women. Look. See that? That's what you call mulatto. Look at their facial features, man. Look at this picture right here. So clearly mixed, man. And to be in rulership, the father. So her mother, you know, I'm not going to say for sure, I don't know exactly, but her mother could have been a so-called like a fair-skinned woman, and her father being a Jake, what you call a Negro, or being one of the Latin tribes, all right? Because they were amongst us at that time too. And it says, described by others in her time as a true mulatto face, brown or yellow bone. See that? Her nose is to the wide, and her mouth shows the same faults. Mauritius Haguni, painting by Rembrandt. See that? Rembrandt. That's a famous painter, man. In 1632, the older brother of Constantine Huygens. Constantine was one of the most famous poets in the Golden Century. And look at him. You can clearly see that's a Jake, man. Clearly. And I have a picture of him also in a slideshow. You know? Let's go through these. It says the way black people were portrayed. The painting of a French-Swiss painter, Lyotard, 1702 to 1789, portrait of a young woman. Lyotard is also considered colored by Confried. See that? So we weren't always niggas picking cotton, man. You see the pearls, they don't take time to paint a slave in this type of picture, man. Alright? There weren't cameras back then. So you had to be of nobility of someone of high stature for somebody to paint you like that, okay? And you know this is Judah, man. Got the wine right in front of him. It says a Moor by Jurin of Satiric, 1619 and 1673. Most people do not realize how many pictures exist of Moors in Europe. That's why it says there's so many. They couldn't hide them all. They couldn't destroy them all. Imagine the ones that they burnt. Imagine the ones that they desecrated, man. Realizing how many pictures exist of Moors in Europe. Why the love of Moors, it says, why the love of Moors, names, families, crests, geographic identifications, all references of Moors according to the Confred. On the form, someone writes that this is a picture of a servant. Ain't a picture of the servant, man. That's a picture of somebody that's even if it's a servant. Moors had fellow servants that was of color, man. That could have been him on his table, man. It says as a response, Confred writes, part of the Mortarberg treasure resistance was a gold and silver cup in the form of a Moor's head. So you gonna put a slave on your cup, man? You know, look like Lil Jon, man. Remember when Lil Jon was popping? He used to have that gauntlet. The gauntlet, man. And I remember when it came out, Jakes didn't know nothing about no gauntlets, man. It was a big golden cup. That's how you know Lil Jon was probably back there in the Moors, man. You know what I'm saying? Because he came back in a high stature for a little bit, you know, but he could have been back there, man. You know, hey, that gauntlet, man, Jake went crazy over that. Not everybody just brought a gauntlet out. That was in his spirit to bring out, and to have a big gauntlet that he sipped his drink from, man. It says, as a response, Caulfield writes parts of the. Let me jump down. This is one of my favorite ones, man. This look like a Jake out of Compton, man. This look like a Jake. This look like a couple Negroes I know. You know what I'm saying? This look like a couple brothers I know, man. For real. Real. This look like some brothers I know, man. It says portrait of an African man, January Matri, CA, 1474, Harlem, 1555 to 1553, circa 1520 to 1530, a unique 16th century portrait, a painting of a black African in European clothing. He had a sword, so he wasn't no damn servant. You see the glove on this man? That's a man of stature. That's a man of prestige. That's why he has that clothing on, man. And somebody painted him. His clothing matched the why he was being painted. He was somebody of bravado. He had bravado in that time, man. A painting of a black European clothed with, it says, a painting of a black in European clothing with sword, portrayed as a Hans Habsburg Burgundian nobleman from that period. So he was noble, man, nobility, man. The self-conscious attitude, clothed in rich attitudes demonstrate a successful emasculation of this man within the culture norms of the European Renaissance. Research Lab Black of Beauty Dutch. So he felt himself, man. He felt, you know, when Jake is doing good, man. Hey, let Jake get a $1 million deal or $5 million deal. What do? They got a chain on. You know they'll be driving a nice car. They'll be living good. You know what I'm saying? Look at Floyd Mayweather, man. This could be Floyd coming back, man. You know what I'm saying? But I'm saying to a point. Not saying that it is, but look how Floyd flaunts his wealth that he has, man. He flaunts it and he puts it in your face. So imagine Jake back then, man. That's the same spirit we got. Because when you're doing good, man. You can't knock a man that's doing good. It says, but the research lab also writes black Africans were in the 16th century Europe rarely people of distinction. Most of them were imported as slaves in Spain and Portugal. See, they got to slide that bullshit in there. A small number of them were released over the years, but most were employed as servants to their masters. See that? They gotta slide that in there, man. So, you know, I'm not gonna the point is hit. Bugs and shit. The point is hit. There's a couple more photos. Look at that, man. Tell me Jake wasn't doing it. To suit of armor, man. So a slave, this is a slave? Huh? This is a slave. A slave is dressed like that, and they painted him for a joke. Look at this man's chain right here. Look at this man's chain and pendant. If he had really had this on, imagine seeing that in real life, man. Jake had to be straight glistening, man. You couldn't barely look at the man. It's all silver suit of armor and these diamonds glistening, rubies, gold. Come on, man. Come on, man. That's a slave now. We were all slaves. We were just slaves, right? This right here, I'm just gonna show you. Look at Jake, man. We set them suits. Hey, Jake will make a paper bag look good, man. Man, this look like a Negro. This nigga look like a nigga. So it's Salakia, man. Salakia. He look like a dude out of hey, he look like a man out of Harlem, man. You know what I'm saying? Patch beard and all, with a suit of armor and his coat, man. That ain't no slave. He wears it. He's wearing that. Okay? So going back to this girl right here, you were destroyed for the lack of knowledge. So let's get into these. This is a perfect time to get these scriptures. All right. The first scripture I have. Hold on, Salaki. Let me get this real quick. We already got that one. Let's get. This is Proverbs 10 and 21. It's Proverbs 10 and verse 21. And it says, the lips of the righteous feed many. And that's how you see the apostles and elders have, that's how you know they're righteous in the spirit, man. All right. Because they're feeding the men with knowledge. And knowledge is going into history. It's going into the understanding of who we are. We're more than just Negroes with fringes, man. We're vast, man. Our history is vast. Hold on. And it says, the lips of righteousness feed many, but fools die for want of wisdom. So that's why if you don't understand what you're into, this like this, hey, she gonna perish to the wayside, man. Alright? Gonna perish to the wayside. But in the same sense, man, we're trying to give Jake, we're trying to wake Jake up to who they are. Alright? That's the time we in. We're in the time of the covering being cast off of us. The lips of righteousness feed many, but fools die for the want of wisdom. The blessings of the Lord, it maketh rich, and he addeth no sorrow with it. That's why it says comfort each other with these words. It's not the fact of, oh, we got this truth, man. The Most High is letting us know that we were great people. Even greater as Israelites, man. And that's what we're returning unto. We're not returning unto, European. No, man. That was just the offshoot of what we are. Our true identity is Israel, man. Yashar Allah, the chosen of Yahweh Bashim Yahshai. That's why it says they're going to come up and learn of our ways. This is Isaiah 5 and 1. Actually, let's go to 5 and 13. I'm going to close on this. This is Isaiah 5 and 13. Therefore, my people are gone into captivity because they have no knowledge. And their honorable men are famished, and their multitude dried up with thirst. And what's the main thirst? What's the main water? Is the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. That's why if you read Ezekiel the 37th chapter, you'll see that the valley of dry bones. Okay? Dry bones because there's no knowledge in it. Now we're getting our knowledge and getting who we are back, and we're more than just niggas in the street dancing around, okay? So Abaratazar, this was edifying, and I want to say Thawadi Yah Bashim Yahshua for giving me the spirit to do this, and giving me the materials to put this together, man. So with that, I want to give all praise unto Yahweh, Bashim Yahushai, Bashim Rakar Kodash, Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahushai, Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahushai, Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahushai, Bashim Rakar Kodash. Shalom Akim, and Lord willing, this was edifying to you, brothers. And hey, man, look at yourself, look at the history we have, and imagine what the Lord got prepared for us, man. Shalom.